Hello, it's Alexis back for week 2 to show off some CSS stuff that I experimented with this week on my webpage, which you can see over here is styled, admittedly looking a little bit rough still, but there's room for improvement. Let's put it that way. So in my HTML file, I have this link rel href that's linking to my CSS style sheet, telling the browser how to apply all of the styles that I wrote to this HTML sheet here. You can see some of the classes that I added in here, box, some IDs that I added in of main, more classes, etc. And then my destination pages, they're all laid out kind of the same. I linked all of them to the CSS style sheet. Here's one of the classes, an ID, etc., etc. So we'll go ahead and skip over to the fun part, which is the style sheet. So in everything between my HTML tags, I gave, so basically the entire page, I gave it a background with this linear gray from light purple to pale orange. I gave everything a font family of Arial, styled all of the headers, gave this header a cool shadow box filter effect, which gives it that shadowed look, underlined some of the smaller headings. And down here is my links, href, my href links that link to the various pages. So what it normally looks like when you haven't visited yet, you're not hovering over it, it's black. Then when it's visited, it turns this gray color, which you can tell I've already visited these before. And then when you hover over it, has this cool highlight effect where it makes the text dark and the backdrop is orange. Now here's one of my first, actually, it is my first ID, which is main, which is talking about the main page flags. I had to style these differently because I styled the image elements farther down in my sheet with certain characteristics that I didn't want these to have. So I was experimenting with just overwriting that here. So that's why I have none for scale, border, etc. And sure enough, it overwrote them. And this flags image or ID is used on the other pages. Same thing with overwriting there. So first, my first class here, we have box. So I did a flex box for this top box here where, you can see it nicely wraps and expands and centers itself as you're changing the size of the browser page. So that's what you can see here. Added some margin borders just to make it look a little more stylish. The box within is this purple box. Newsletter is this bottom one with the dashed border. Grayed out the footer a little bit. Let's skip over to one of my cool pages. So Brazil, this is pretty cool. I have a text box here where I did another flex box so that, again, it wraps as I move it. Same with the images, same with everything, honestly. But the coolest part and the most exciting thing for me was these image characteristics that I gave to all of my image elements, other than the ones I overwrote, of course. So in here, where is it? So in here, I set their height and gave it a little fancy border with some margin some padding in there to make it look a little more fancy. Rounded the corners with this border radius of 30. And then most exciting is this transition. So this 400 ms just basically tells it how quickly to make this image enlarge as I'm mousing over it. And then the object fit cover is what makes it so that it's covering the other content within this area. And this scale 2 under the image hover is what's telling it to double the size of the image as I mouse over it. A couple more things here. Like I said earlier, I made these everything into a flex box just so it would display really nicely. Now let's skip down to these ordered list and unordered list. You can see I gave the font a different look, did some aligning, was able to pull these bullets in to snap beside the text with this list style position. And then of course I have my one and only table on Japan in my Japan page down here. So just played around with some of the borders, removing some borders, added some different types of borders. So I was able to style everything, and I think overall it looks pretty good other than this first page, which, again, a little rough. There's room for improvement. So hopefully next week I'll have something a little better to show you, but thanks for checking it out with me. Bye.